Okay, I think it's on. All right. Hi guys. Is this thing on? Hi guys. It's been a minute since our last upload. I have decided to start off the year by doing some New Year's resolutions. Yeah. I have decided. Well, I haven't really decided. I've noticed that I am a performative book reader. And what that means is like, I don't actually read any of the books I buy. I just use them as decorations for my house. And I've looked at them and I've stared at them for like a couple years now. And I've only ever read maybe like 2 or 3 of those books. Yeah, I've decided that this year I'm gonna actually read my books instead of just use them as decorations. And I'm gonna start off by forcing myself to read everything that's on my shelf. I don't know what book I'm gonna read yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and just pick one at random. I'm gonna pick the smallest one because I'm really stupid. I have very slow reading skills and my reading comprehension is so far behind, it's genuinely embarrassing. So I think for today's work, we're gonna review something tiny. Let me go pull any book out. We're gonna just go at random. Okay. So I've gone ahead and I've chosen a book. I chose one of the thinner ones that I have on display. This book is called Lopper. I've never read it. It's by Andrew McLean with Mike Spicer. And I recall getting it at I believe it was called Designer Con a couple years ago. It's a convention where you have a lot of like indie artists and stuff show up to, these booths where they sell their merch. And I recall seeing this on display over there and thinking that the artwork was really cool. So that's what kind of drew me into this and purchasing it to begin with. I guess what I'm going to do now is just force myself to read this thing all the way through. And I will give you my thoughts. So I'll see you guys when I'm done reading it. Alright, do I look crazy from this angle? Oh, let's see. I can see myself. I think that's fine. Okay. So, a day later, a shave later, I've read this book twice now. First time took about an hour and a half. The second time took just under an hour. And I gotta say, I really didn't get it the first time. The second read, it all started clicking with me. So, I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a little quick breakdown of the story. So you follow some buff Nordic Viking looking motherfucker called Norgol, and his whole shtick is that he is called the Head Lopper. He goes around traveling from establishment to establishment, or I guess rather in this case, realm to realm. And he goes and he kills shit. He's like a mercenary. He's a paid sword, from what I understand. And he's basically the embodiment of like masculinity. His character design shows that. He's got big, brolic fucking shoulders, tiny little noggin, big old thighs. He's built exactly like Hassan Piker. And he goes around killing shit, right? There's also some very strong parallels between this character and someone like Kratos from God of War. I mean, he carries around a disembodied head. It's a witch's head that speaks to him throughout the entire book. They even at some point have like a little twink child using a bow and arrow to help defend Norgol from an attack from a direwolf. And those parallels are like way too strong. Like just that chapter alone where you have those 3 characters interacting with each other, little twink baby boy with a bow and arrow, big muscle man, disembodied head, you cannot tell me that's not directly ripped from God of War. So obviously The author and designer of this book is very much inspired from that series. So if you like that sort of vibe, this is going to be very cool and a nice read for you. Then you also have this other side plot with your main antagonist called Lulic, or Lulach. I'm just going to call him Lulic. I don't know if I'm mispronouncing it. I'll put on the correct pronunciation right now.
Lulach.
And his whole shtick is he's sort of playing both. He's sort of playing. There's two main forces that drive the story. So you have the kingdom. You also have this forest entity called Bara. And this forest entity is kind of acting as like Mother Nature. They control the plague, they control beasts. They use this ebb and flow of like power to take over some of the kingdom. The kingdom fights back. So there's like a constant power shifting within this universe. Or within this realm, I should say, because it's relatively small scale. This is all happening within one island. And Norgal is basically sent to this realm to go fuck up this evil spirit. This evil spirit is using our antagonist, Lulic, to sort of double-cross Norgal and undermine the kingdom of which he's a servant of, because he ultimately wants it for power. He's trying to become king of the realm, and he's sort of playing both sides. They have this scene where they have a child who's being radicalized by, government action, by government violence, I should say. It depicts a poor family within a shed, and these two government officials, one is the king, one is like a bodyguard, and they go up to this like poor family and they go, where's my horse, yada yada. They start begging for a bunch of shit. They're like taxing the poor people. And then when the father is ultimately not able to pay up, they kill him, they kill his mother, they burn down the house, they steal the horses, and this is all caught by the poor family's son in particular. That son is then radicalized from that moment as he runs away from the government, goes into the forest, and then runs into Bara, which is the same evil spiritual force I've been talking about. I'll be right back. So that's where this character sort of sits. And honestly, that's about as complex as the story gets. Another thing that they do, they have little side plots with like the realm's church, and they ultimately get exposed for being like evil crooks. And you see a lot of this within like the opening chapter, where they thank Norgal for his slaying of a giant Leviathan critter. And Norgal's like, all right, bitch, like you guys called me here. Where's my money? I didn't just kill this shit for free. And then the priest is the first one to be like, listen, dog, we're the Holy Church. We ain't got no money. Meanwhile, they're ripping hella bling. They got a big old fucking cross sigil made out of gold over here. And ultimately, Norgal steals that from the church and accepts that as his payment. And that sort of goes to show you the dichotomy between what they preach versus what they actually do, So that was pretty cool and interesting. Enough of the story. I felt like that went on a lot longer than it needed to. The artwork in this is so fucking cool, man. It's as a graphic designer myself, it is so graphic heavy. It is so beautiful. They use a lot of colors ranging from pinks to greens to blues to green. I said green again, to yellows, and it's all. It's so strange. It feels saturated, but when you look at the page, it's actually quite dull. And that's not a bad thing either, because oftentimes when I'm reading a book, especially like a colored book, it is so bright that eventually it just kind of looks overwhelming. But this is very tasteful. I'll go ahead and put some images up on screen right now. All of the action shots, they're drawn so beautifully. It's so gory, and I think it really captures the essence that they wanted of like a big masculine Viking guy like fucking shit up. And ultimately, I think it serves the story way more than maybe even the plot does. And that's a good thing, Like, I'm a stupid guy. I can get, cool plots are dope, But when I see cool, pretty shit, that's what makes my brain continue going. I go, okay, this is fucking dope. So yeah, that's the plot. That's sort of the artistic portion of my review. I guess all that's left is really just the Frank score. Hold on. Ugh. Okay, I'm back. So Griff wants to be a little monster and interrupt my little review, fucking guy. So I'll go ahead and give my Frank score right now. Ultimately, after reading it the second time, I feel like I gotta give it like 8.5 Franks out of 10. It's pretty dope. The story, very quick. The narrative, not too complex. And the art style is just so beautiful that at the end of the epilogue, they actually have a whole host of different artists that draw the main character. And it really goes to show that whoever, illustrated this has like a huge presence in the art community and they are revered. So yeah, that's it. That's my review for Head Lopper. If you guys want, feel free to check it out. It's super dope. I highly recommend it. Andrew McLean and Mike Spicer, you guys rock. And remember, ACAB, trans rights are human rights, and keep reading so you don't end up being a dumbass like me. All right, so there's one more thing I forgot while I was editing this video. Blam. I forgot to do this. We're gonna grab this guy. We're gonna put her right there. And just like that, I got a whole lot more I gotta get to. Until then, whoosh. Later, y'all.
Thanks for watching.